The anxious generation. Discover mode and the need for risky play. 2. The beginning of the end of play-based childhood. Have you noticed how much freedom children had in the past compared to now?
Absolutely. I often think about when I was a kid, walking to my friend's house alone at just 6 years old.
That's common among older generations. Research shows that many people born before 1981 recall similar experiences.
It's so different for my kids. Most of their friends aren't allowed out until they're 10 or 11.
Exactly. Studies indicate that parenting became more protective in the 1990s, leading to less freedom for children.
And it seems like kids today spend more time in structured activities rather than free play.
Yes, in fact, data shows that children had significantly less time for free play between 1981 and 1997.
That's concerning. I can see how that might contribute to anxiety in adolescents today.
Research supports that idea. The increased pressure from parents, especially regarding college admissions, adds to the stress.
It's like parents see their children as investments in a race for success.
Exactly. This shift in perspective can impact children's mental health and overall development.
It makes me reflect on how to balance protection with giving kids the freedom to explore.
Fearful parenting in the Anglosphere. Have you noticed how parenting has changed over the last few decades?
Absolutely. It seems like parents are more anxious about their children's safety these days.
Right? Research shows that since the 1980s, parents have gradually given their kids less autonomy.
That's interesting. I wonder what caused that shift.
Well, one major factor is the breakdown of adult solidarity. Parents used to trust that other adults would look out for their kids.
I've read about that. There were so many scandals in the 80s and 90s. That made parents fear leaving their kids with others.
Exactly. Stories of abuse, whether true or fabricated, created a pervasive sense of danger.
And I guess that led to the rise of terms like stranger danger becoming more common in our conversations.
Yes, the term first appeared in the early 1980s, but its usage skyrocketed in the mid 90s. Safetyism and concept creep. Have you ever noticed how the meaning of safety has changed over the years?
Absolutely. I read somewhere that the term emotional safety only started gaining traction in the late 1980s.
Right. It saw a 600% increase in usage from 1985 to 2010, which is significant.
And now, it's like kids are being taught they should never feel negative emotions because of someone else's actions. Exactly. This idea of safetyism has become so prevalent that it often overrides other important values. It's alarming. I read that parents now believe kids should be at least 10 years old to play unsupervised outside. Yes, and that includes parents who themselves had more freedom at younger ages. It's a huge shift. It makes me wonder how this impacts children's ability to resolve conflicts and learn life skills. That's a key point. Concept creep can lead to a lack of resilience and problem-solving skills in children. And if schools are overly cautious, like not letting kids play tag without adult supervision, what does that teach them? It teaches them to rely on adults instead of learning to navigate social interactions themselves.
Antifragility and the attachment system. You know, when we talk about adolescent anxiety, it's fascinating how it ties back to the attachment system.
Really? How does that work?
Well, mammals, including humans, have this unique system where young ones rely on a secure base, usually a parent, to feel safe while they explore.
That makes sense. So, what happens if that secure base isn't there?
Without that secure attachment, children may spend more time in defend mode, which can lead to increased anxiety as they grow up.
How about discover mode?
Discover mode is where kids feel confident enough to explore their environment, learn new skills, and take risks, which is crucial for their development.
So, it's like they need a balance between safety and exploration?
Exactly. Research shows that children who engage in risky play, while having that secure base, tend to develop resilience and better coping mechanisms later on.
That's really enlightening. I guess it's all about how they internalize that sense of security as they grow up.
Right. And as they reach adolescence, they start forming new attachments using the same frameworks they learned from their parents.